Tribe Gaming has what it takes to take down Team Elektros, but I'm hoping for it.
Last month, we expected Tribe Gaming to resume their reign of terror over North America and keep that #1 title. The only thing that could disrupt that is the Kid Wonders on Team Elektros. They managed to do it last month. Can they knock out Tribe Gaming in the semifinals? Well, Team Elektros are already off to the races. They're getting pretty close to breaking open that shield. Tribe Gaming yet to answer.
Yeah, perfect there from Memen to ensure the amplified shot onto the safe and rotate it round. Now, Luffy going to make a dash for the safe, but shut down immediately on the defense by then coming back in on that spawn side. Diego Gamer does get a tap, not too much as RBM rolling in now. Trying to take some damage, gets a crack on the safe as well.
Luffy charging in. It's an easy one for Snoy as he continues to hammer away at the safe. Memen seems to be almost invulnerable. Did manage to get that safe down pretty low. Now it's Dylan's turn to play defense. He's going to post up at mid for as long as he can, but backing away gradually versus Luffy since he's not interested at all in feeding that super that Luffy's going to use to dash right on past them. It's an aggressive play once more versus Tribe Gaming as Memen pushes up. RBM going for the assassination attempt onto Duin. It looks fine. Snoy, meanwhile, moves up on this double-pronged push alongside Memen, who only needs 2 more swipes to take it down. It looks good. It's game #1 for Team Elektros in a total shutout.
Yeah, really convincing, wasn't it? I mean, you can't really leave brawlers like Kaze and Colt left untouched on the safe. Tribe maybe just a bit preoccupied, going in on their own sort of line of sight with the Daryl and the Melody, but not really getting nearly as much goods to bring home. Objective just not really being handled, and I think defensively, just not there.
Well, I think Memen moves so quickly that they have to shift it into defense mode pretty much immediately. And even when they do have 1 defender, Memen still is being properly defended. They're going to commit 2 brawlers for the defense. Memen doesn't get a kill quite yet. Luffy body blocking also gets his super for free. Looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, Snoy! Okay, he was tapping with those first couple of clips. Didn't quite land that last shot to get the finisher. And we'll see Tribe Gaming continue to compound upon that push by getting a crack against Team Elektros' sake.
Yeah, doing a great job on defense, I was going to say there. And that kind of makes a lot of sense as to why the Amber's kind of there on the side of Team Elektros. They're not using it on the offensive, just keeping it back for the Daryl. And now Memen trying to dash forwards, thinking better of it now. RBM not going to burn down those. Luffy actually finds an escape there through the mid. Needs to heal up before he gets much damage. Oh, great roll from RBM. That's going to be good for Tribe on offense.
Oh, Luffy gets a takedown on Duin. It looks fantastic. RBM also in position, but say goodbye to those walls. He was making a hefty use of just 1 remaining box. Luffy's going to come in as a distraction. Gets a bit of room for RBM to survive. Snoy cross-eyed, like seeing double. And well, hitting 1. He moves over to the left lane, completely ignoring RBM. That's going to be Memen's responsibility and a bit of super fodder for him. It's going to be free damage once he shifts back into the Geisha aspect and gets on top of this safe. RBM with a pretty powerful hypercharge roll out, but I don't know if that was really worth it. Would have loved to see that on top of the safe, but he has to match the pace of Team Elektros, who brought this down to its final legs. 1 shield.
Oh, this is going to be close. Let's see. On the other side of the field, they actually get the damage as well. That's insane on the side of Team Elektros. They get the stealth at the back of that. It's nuts.
The damage, the pressure, just overwhelming, especially the positioning of the Kaze. Too much to deal with. In game #1, I think that was really the best example of that, where Kaze pushes forward on the lane, especially up the right lane where she's dashing, and had to be defended. In game #2, you saw a commitment from Tribe Gaming where they put 2 brawlers forward to defend against that Kaze, and it was good enough to rebuff her, send her back to respawn. They get the, re-aggress, and we actually got to see Melody and Daryl do what they were supposed to do. I think we saw misplaced utility, however. You see Daryl using a hypercharge to get a kill, like on a vulnerable Colt. That's not worth it at all. You want to use that on top of the safe.
Yeah, really nice. Really nice from Team Elektros. I thought we'd see a bit more of a better fight from Tribe. There was a little bit of a moment towards the end. That was the final clutch there from Snoy. And for the most part, realistically throughout, like Team Elektros were 25% ahead every single step of the way, which is quite a big factor when you consider that they knew themselves that it wasn't going to be good enough. They wanted to really up their game, and we talked a lot today about how much preparation they've done coming into this one. They are feeling good about things.
Will pan out. Can we put our trust in you, Team Elektros, to take a second set for Tribe Gaming? Do you have what it takes two make it to the grand finals once more? Well, it's a blue star for Team Elektros. That's part of picking Mortis, is that you get the blue star for free, but they are determined to stay in this aggressive position. Note also a lack of wall break for Tribe Gaming. It's going to come down to Diego Gamer on the Gene to break open the stronghold on the left side. Really popular position to sit in. This is crafty from Tribe Gaming, though. Put up the lollipop drop right behind it to grant some additional speed and invisibility at mid. Thing is, for Team Elektros, they weren't interested in it to begin with. They just want to stay alive. They're perfectly fine hanging back in their spawn. Snoy especially, if he doesn't have to shoot, then he's sitting on high damage with a gadget that could one-shot Diego Gamer.
RBM utilizing the speed of the back of these walls as well, and that star power sense. Doing, shielded up. All good for there from Snoy to be able to deflate that with the gadget as well. Tribe going to be hunkering down with the back of these Gene Magic Puff heals. Just the 1 star. With Team Elektros, no takedowns just yet, and time still ticking down. Now the speed off the back of this lollipop drop. Luffy, oh, that's great. Evading the shots as well.
Man. Danger
coming in. Oh, the Thunder Strike doing this, just forced into the air.
Whoa.
Did better than I thought he would do, actually. That second star's going to come down. That's ridiculous.
How do you survive that? An invis Leon attack in point-blank range, and you still hang on. That's insane for your team to trade, of course, and maintain a 6-star advantage. Only 2. A measly 2 stars handed over to Tribe Gaming. They rebuff this next attempt at offense. Memon now baits out the attack from Luffy. Has to know that he's supered in. Gonna dodge these shots. Over to the obstacle as well. Tried to get Luffy to auto-aim. They still take him down. I just can't believe how well they're playing. Team Elektros with a 12-star lead now. 10 seconds to go. Just pop your hypercharges while you're at it. Farm some elo off of these guys in a monthly final. Just hang on to the last 6-star advantage to get game number 1 of set 2, and I am mind blown.
Is it Elektros playing well, or is it Tribe playing bad, or just a combination of the two? I think it's that for me. Elektros are playing really, really super well, but that exact thing that I was thinking coming into the game, it's to me an error in the draft. I mean, you can see that the Leon should be getting more value, but the Crow can jump away, the Pearl can pop super. You know, they've got to really use the Leon into brawlers that are just not ready with that utility, and I mean, that's kind of the problem with this, but it was a great play from Luffy, using that lollipop drop as a backdrop to then use super and then take that line in towards the kill. I mean, I thought it was going to be a surefire takedown, but it just wasn't.
I want to also draw everyone's attention to what we didn't see. We just saw it off the beginning of the game, Memon getting hypnotized by Ollie. That's a deterrent, but the thing is, if you never have to play aggro, then it doesn't really matter. If you have the blue star, then it doesn't matter. But Tribe Gaming finally get an advantage, and we might get to witness the second thing that we didn't see, which was a Gene pull, okay? It took forever for Diego Gamer to get there. There was just no one playing aggro into him. Memon also tried to bait out another gadget from RBM. It is going to be a mind game for as long as Memon has the energy for it.
It's a big lollipop drop there from Tribe. Oh, that's huge. Magic hand. No! No! That did not just happen! Memon was unreal. There's no way you should be surviving that. That is absolutely disgusting.
At this point, I am putting down my tablet and throwing in the towel saying, Uncle, you win! You pull a Mortis and he team wipes you with the super. Now he's got to be well on his way to a hypercharge as well. They can't really afford to let Memon die. It would close this to a 2-star game. It would be far too risky. But Tribe Gaming, I think especially, do not want to push the guy right now. That is team wipe potential right there. 30 seconds to go. Tribe Gaming, they're only a few seconds off of drive time where they have no other choice but to push whether they think they'll win or not.
I like this from Elektros. They're just navigating themselves up the map, but they might find themselves in a bit of a rock and a hard place unless they find Luffy, which they do. Now the stars are falling and crumbling down as Memon has the final say with 5 stars above his head. Absolutely ridiculous. This squad seems to get better and better the more they run through the bracket. Tribe with egg on their face, and now 2 sets down.
Set number 1 didn't really sell me. I thought, finally, we're going to see a close match between these two. Memon, can you react, please? Like, can you look like you're winning? Like, this isn't just another matcherino. But seriously, remind yourself where these guys came from. They farm opponents, even top opponents, including people such as Tribe Gaming and matcherinos. That was an absolutely unreal final game from Mortis. I can't wait to go go back through the replays because there were so many incredible moments throughout that. There was game number 1 where somehow Duin survives this Leon attack, which, guys, if you were around in 2018 when Leon was first released, that was like such an unthinkable prospect. Now he has a Buffy, and he's even less survivable. Memon there also farming so many stars at the end of game number 1, but game number 2 is when it really started to get heated.
Yeah, honestly ridiculous. I felt Tribe were in a pretty decent spot here, and then you just see that. I mean, that's just disgusting. That should not be happening. It really, really shouldn't. And that's again why I just question, is it Elektros just playing out of their minds? These are great plays, but maybe Tribe just aren't bringing enough to the table here. And I mean, just going back to your point though, what you were saying, and I just remember what Kenny was saying last month that I really think resonates is the fact that these guys have grown with draft. I think that's a really important point. So losing the semis for a team like them is a massive deal. This is the thing, they've got such high expectations at this point. I've said it about twice today, I'm gonna say it for a third time. Again, like that defeat last month was brutal for them. From 2025 to the amount of sets that they've played, it almost totals 1,000. 1,000 sets of prep have gone into this match.
When you ask Team Elektros how they play so well together, you know what they say? Well, we like scrim a lot. We play together a lot. When you ask Tribe Gaming why they're faltering, they say, I don't know, we play a lot. They use the same strategy, so something's got to give. What is the difference between these two? Is Team Elektros' effort just superior to Tribe Gaming's? We'll see a concerted effort from the squad to get Luffy in the back lines. Duin is forced back hard, but a pinch between Duin and Snoy is enough to shut the Mortis down. But this early game pressure, the death of Luffy, actually does gain a pretty serious advantage for Tribe Gaming. They can't afford to play off the tempo lead now with RBM pushing so deep into Team Elektros' spawn. This is the most promising game that we've seen so far for Tribe.
Yeah, Luffy's been doing a very good job of just buying time for his team and getting the meter into those back lines every now and again. Just keeping Team Elektros busy and away from that objective. It's like the final stand, though. So it feels, at least in my opinion, for Tribe Gaming to try to rekindle something to go home to say that we've got a game here and there, but still set to seem far away from me.
Kind of a worthless push in from RBM. Gave away a bunch of control. Probably didn't get him that close to a bear. He might be 1 or 2 shots off by this point. He's determined to play against Memon, who's determined to waste his time. Here comes the hypercharged super. It's firstly on RBM. The defense from Luffy making a double kill. Just throwing himself at the issue and can't accomplish anything. Team Elektros, they take back control of mid. The only thing that could make this better is if Duin had a forward cam super, no gadget reaction. It's Luffy once more just throwing himself into the mix, trying to get a super that could fix this. A cocoon, possibly from Diego Gamer, decides to hold on to it, and Tribe Gaming, just by sheer numbers, should be able to push in, but Snoy is still alive on this left side, going for the spawn trap.
It's ridiculous, the amount of value that he's gotten in that position. He was on 80 HP before, and he's still there, still being a problem. But Luffy coming in, the bats, the combo spinner, that is a play that Tribe needed. Can they get away though? Snoy is still there, the bear are gonna come through, and he should get that kill there as well. So Tribe should be safe and sound now. Reset nonetheless. Can Elektros make something of it?
It would be really, really nice if Luffy were able to defend here, because he's the one with team wipe potential, and he knows that the enemies are going to be throwing themselves at him, but he has the most mobility. But could he be cornering himself? Well, he's in the back corner, 3 seconds to go. Doing a approach from the top. Oh! Tribe Gaming barely survive. The match point continues. Team Elektros still only 1 game away from victory. Tribe Gaming just 1 game away from going to the next set. This is their lifeline, and I'm just not sold on it.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm not sold on it either. It feels like a last stand, but it feels like one that might end prematurely, and that's the concern. But nonetheless, it is some momentum. It is something, and that's more than we've seen so far from Tribe. So can they turn this now into a set? That's the question.
Okay, Tribe Gaming getting pressed early on. They don't have that deep Mortis like they did last time. Memon also decides, no, I'm not waiting for Charlie to come out of the cocoon. It's just enough time for the remainder of the Tribe Gaming roster to respawn and post up in position. Luffy's going to go for Memon, baits out the super. It actually looks pretty good, survives all of it. Duin can't do anything about that either. He was out of range, and Pam's shot, it spreads out so much. It's really not suited for these tight corridors like the right lane.
Nice there from Snoy. We'll stay here defending. Duin is going to need it. 7 gems now, slightly split. Duin with 6, and again Luffy's just keeping all their eyes on that back line, getting that pinch, and ensuring now that RBM's joining. It's going to be quite risky here now. Creature of the Night coming in, but low HP, and realistically, Luffy shouldn't be using that gadget in that situation.
Well, yeah, it's just to get in those back lines and act as a distraction more than anything else, it would seem, which it seems to be a more useful position for him with how apt Team Elektros are to stick together when they feel like they're going to get pressured by a Mortis. There's not all that much he can do. It's an evasive maneuver from Memon with a hypercharge to get one kill, now goes for another one. Ooh, tried to predict the path of Luffy, couldn't quite get it, still gets the kill. Now on to Diego Gamer, the final nail in the coffin. Into the cocoon, RBM is going to try and save him, but he's too low on HP. Diego Gamer nearly makes it all the way back. Luffy has no choice but to collect these gems and move backwards. He's actually going to the side. He wouldn't mind dying here. Look, he has the hypercharge as well. This could be the biggest play. Now in with the hypercharge bat. Still defensive move from Kit, but it falls short.
That was really nice from Luffy, but is it enough now? 3v1s doing, can't really go to the mid to get these gems and contest them. But 10 are with Luffy. He can dash around, but he's not the best person to necessarily have in terms of the aggressive. He needs his teammates to be able to protect him, and RBM doing his best. At the moment, Team Elektros know they can get one from the mid here as well, staying back. What's the play? The dash in from Luffy. Watch where the gem's going to be. He gets the gem. He's got 11 for Tribe. That's huge. They get the match. They get the set.
That's saved the day for Tribe Gaming from the brink of defeat to the brink of defeat part 2, just less so because now it's not a game separating them, it's at least 2. One more set. Look at Luffy, the expression on his face, head and hands, because he is the driver for the team in forms of motivation, in terms of, hey, let's go, come on, let's practice. He's the one who wants to play Brawl Stars all day. He's incredibly mechanically gifted. He has worked for this level of skill, and he had everything resting on his shoulders.
At the beginning of the day, I asked you if this is the start of a new era, the era of Team Elektros, or if someone has what it takes to take down those rookies. And it would be so beautiful if the team to take them down would be the last era of NA, namely Tribe Gaming being so dominant in 2025. Team Elektros still looking pretty solid. This was such a close set, especially that game number 2.
Yeah, honestly, for me, like, I'm still not sold on Tribe, but I still respect the fact that they didn't take it lying down. They at least have got a set to show for it, and they had some great moments, honestly, some great steals. But again, against Team Elektros, the way that they are playing, it is just very, very scary. I mean, the only reservation I have is that, if this draft doesn't go their way, we're going all the way to the 5th and final set. But look at those stats. I mean, the Kit player was absolutely unreal from Memon. I'm really surprised, to be honest, that Elektros didn't secure that set.
So they came super close to being out of the game in a 3-0 sweep. Now, last month it was a 3-1 overall. I'm sure Tribe Gaming would try to do better than last month. So let's see if they...
Potential for this Amber to get super off of the Mortis and then block up all of mid. You also have Duan, where they're going to kind of stay near so he gets his super for free. Oh, wait, I take it back. He's going to play aggro. Even Memon comes around the right side, not even focused on the Mortis matchup. Nice. It looks like reactive Brawl Stars with that Chester pick, but Memon's going to take any matchup he can get. He just wants to play. He just wants to win a lane.
Doing juking so nicely there. Lovely from Snoy, though, as well, to keep going backwards there to avoid the Creature of the Night gadget. And if he goes through that, then he's obviously going to take damage and heal up the Mortis. So, really nice observation there. Great jukes. Look at that. Memon low, Snoy low, but they're still staying alive and just working around this objective.
Team Elektros backed up, but it seems to be by their own accord. It's going to be the Creature of the Night in. Luffy immediately upon exit, sucked in by Duan, and it turns into an offense for Team Elektros. Duan was able to get out of that stick around thanks to Kevlar Vest with his super. It's the star power that prevents you from getting any kind of debuff while your super is up. Could be useful into Diego Gamer, but Duan didn't have his super when it mattered. Also, interesting placement of that hypercharge. Tribe Gaming were just more focused on getting kills than they were on, some sort of Hail Mary play, just placing it on top of the zone. They're already in the lead as well. Luffy snaps up a kill on the left side versus a vulnerable Buster. Tribe Gaming seem to be in a position to win this.
Yeah, I feel like this Mortis is saving them, and honestly now, Creature of the Night gadget, Snowy low, but look, he goes into the wall there, but should still come out on top. In the meanwhile, it's RBM and his teammates there doing a wondrous job of getting the objective down. Diego Gamer getting a lot of these ices on the objective. This could be a 5th and final set at this rate, honestly, unless there's some adaptations. Team Elektros not going to be even trying for it towards the end, and that's not good signs.
Well, and I have to wonder, Team Elektros, they're like new gens, okay? is this just them being like, okay, I'm not going to waste the effort, like I'm not going to waste the ATP in my finger muscles? Because they, I think, are probably quite confident in this still, but maybe it like is a weird draft for them. It's like you said though, Art, what's up with the Amber and Buster? Why was this the combo? They snapped at those brawlers so quickly, and the first thing they did was split them up, send Buster on the aggressive. This time they'll have them playing as a duo. It's a missed, oh, never mind. It was a missed attack for Duin. He still managed to get that gadget off later. He had the restraint to use it at a later point. Diego Gamer trapped in a bad matchup. Thankfully, RBM saves him from being taken down by Memon, and he just escapes the fire of Snoy.
Just about, yeah. They're gonna stay alive now. Luffy gonna continue the assault there. Does find ones, and trade is there as Tribe continues to stay on the zone. This is where Elektros gonna push so deep with this Buster to really do much. It's not gonna come in now. This is good from Elektros, but still behind. Luffy's low. Gonna heal up. This is the thing that I'm noticing in the minute. Elektros just not able to secure things. Finally, Diego Gamer burns down there, but Tribe are just staying on their feet.
Tribe Gaming, their ice is going to expire in just a moment, but they have more CC to isolate this mid lane. Duin popped that hypercharge, and now he can't do anything with it. At least there's a bomb from him and breaks open his own wall that I feel like he might have wanted, but it seems to be okay. Look, whatever Team Elektros wants, they can break whatever walls they want. Here's the aggression from Luffy. Has enough ammunition to get the Amber takedown, but not enough to get anything else. It's still fine. It provides an opportunity for RBM to come in. As long as he's not like played against that Amber at range, then he should be fine. But Amber is back, and Luffy has a hypercharge. He might have to take the long way around to get to enemy backlines.
Hypercharge, just he will fall. The burn should be there for RBM. Diego Gamer as well, low. But again, our team is just really making the most amount of time on this zone. Hypercharge coming in for the Mortars of Luffy. Shut down now, but the time spent so far for Tribe is very strong. Elektros, though, they've got time. Now approaching 60%. They're not too far away from this. If they can just hold Tribe back now, they can easily tie this up.
One successful retake for Tribe Gaming, and it's over. We're going to set 5. Team Elektros have to hang on to this position. The ice is already driving a thorn into their sides. They managed to push away Mortis. Memon and Snoy hanging on by a thread, especially Memon. He's one-tapped by this Lu, and now a hypercharge out from RBM. Looks like it could seal the deal. Luffy, RBM, the duo on this point will have to square off against this hypercharge. It should be Tribe Gaming staying alive just long enough to send us to set 5. They were at a match point, Team Elektros. Now they'll have only one set left to fight for their victory. They've had second chances. This is their third. If they can't secure it here, then Tribe Gaming have no doubt proven themselves worthy.
Yeah, it's dangerous territory now. This is like reverse sweep potential. And Tribe know it. You can see the smiles there from Luffy. This is what they've been gearing up for. And there's a real possibility that this actually happens now. I'm not going to lie, especially as this Mortis is just troublesome brawler, which Team Elektros don't know how to shake. They've got to start batting it out. They just cannot leave that on the table.
Luffy on that brawl is just a tad bit too good, even for our favorable rookies here. Team Elektros looking pretty good also in this set, but in the end it's Tribe Gaming closing things out. That second game was especially close here. Tribe Gaming now pushing it to the 5th and final set. They're already doing better than last month.
Something that stood out to me from this last set was Diego Gamer on the Lu, because it's like I said, you put Luffy on the Lu, except, wait, hold up, he did so well on Mortis. Can we put him on that again? And it just shows what Diego Gamer brings to this roster. In place of Zeus, just Luffy had...
Yeah, for sure. I think he's a good supporting role, but I'm kind of more interested in how Luffy's doing today. I feel like he's now the aggressor of the squad. Like, RBM's sitting back a little bit in that regard. We haven't seen any of his tank brawler picks really coming forwards into the forefront. They're just really dependent on this Mortis, and that's why I'm just kind of surprised that it's just being left open as much as it has been. I think we're going to see
have more serious range than Brock. Arc, we're headed into set number 5. It's Team Elektros versus Tribe Gaming Part 5. This one's for all the marbles. It's for the Grand Finals placement. Will Tribe Gaming ascend to their former glory, or will Team Elektros prove that they have ushered in a new era of North American Brawl Stars?
This is now a real test for Team Elektros. Probably their biggest test this year so far. Had a match point, it was denied. Tribe were, had nothing on the board, 0 sets. Now look at them flying into a real position of potentially making it into today's grand final. No kills or deaths so far, just shaping the map so far. Snowy in the middle, just getting tapped by the Piper slightly here, but it's the bush that for me is quite key, because as time goes on, going into the rounds, it's going to be really obvious to where Tribe are lurking.
Love also just to see how Snoy is playing over here. He's always depending on those heals from Memon, so if he gets tapped up for the Piper, he's not really so worried about the homemade recipe. Now the walls are forcing everyone together. Luffy is marching forward. The bottom right lane falls. It's 2v2. The heals are online. Snoy with the Rocket Rain down. Luffy in close range. Shouldn't be able to do anything. What? Got the kill versus Memon. Now that's pretty cool. Sidestepping, Snoy body blocking. That actually looks a little bit promising for Tribe Gaming. Okay, they lost the round. But if you're able to avoid the body blocking by the guy who's getting healed by Byron, then there is a way to have some counterplay.
Rocket Fuel for more break potential. Luffy low. Can't really go on the aggressive here. Vengeful Spirits will find Snoy from Diego Gamer. But now Moment back in this position of being able to heal. Luffy, though, could tap, goes for the homemade recipe onto the RT, though, instead. Chooses to not go for the Byron might be a mistake, in my opinion. Hypercharge, still not going to find anything, so a big waste there.
Tribe Gaming have a couple of supers at hand. RBM got way too aggressive. I'm not sure what that was about. It's going to be a bit of damage on Snoy from Diego Gamer with the Vengeful Spirits, but the heals from Memon are here. Ugly super there from Diego Gamer. It's only Piper left to face anyone, and we know that Luffy could tap them all individually, but when it's 1-on-3, the firing squad comes down once more at match point. Team Elektros. It's like they saw in set number 3, they only need one game to win it all. Go to the grand finals. It's where they were last month.
It'd be super disappointing there for Tribe to have gone this whole way through to then not complete the reverse sweep. I mean, that's, in my opinion, almost worse actually than just going out on the sweep. Still time, but I mean, that just looked far more calculated by Elektros. They were just so in the game. And Tribe going back to old ways, question mark. You know, it's, come on, let's go all the way. Double match point, please, come on.
Okay, Tribe Gaming, you heard it. Get a game win. Come on! Where's the action? Well, it is Gold Arm Gulch, so it's bound to be pretty slow. This is basically the lead up to the poison making everyone actually fight. It's an EU curve if I've ever seen one from Luffy. Just wanted some early damage, but it's easily healed up by a bit of, staying still. Memon also, a bit of damage versus Luffy. You can see the impatience because that super is not going to accomplish anything except for getting him hypercharged later. It might be better used later on. We would love to have this super in the final stages, and he hasn't hit a shot since using it.
Now it's going to get close. Memon falls to the gas. RBM low on the top-hand side, but Duin is really struggling in this middle section here. Can Snoy do something amazing? Oh, not quite enough, but that was a valiant attempt. Nonetheless, though, I think in that situation, do you still use the Rocket Rain? You're going to have to earn that back now.
Yeah, I guess he's gotten himself closer to hypercharge, and he just has the confidence that he'll be able to get there. And something we've seen is actually quite characteristic of Team Elektros is just the way that they play in the long game and the confidence. Like, they just ooze it. They need 2-round wins here. Tribe Gaming lead on utility also. You saw Diego Gamer practice some restraint of his own by not going for the pull. It could have interrupted the Brock Rocket Rain. It could have kept his teammates alive, but really, it's just important that your team wins, not that everyone stays alive, bar one single person. Taps onto Memon from Luffy. If he hadn't used the super, if he hadn't had it in that moment, then it would have been a 3v2. Luffy continues to march forward with his swagger. The only thing keeping him back is Duin threatening the pinch. And even then, Duin's being suppressed by the spike shots.
Oh, Snoy there, standing still. I wasn't sure, but he's okay. Definitely Tribe starting to find their flow. Must be said, hypercharge put by Luffy. Diego Gamer has the pull as well, but finds the shots regardless. He's still got it in the back pocket for in a moment's time. Duin in towards the gas, finds RBM, but it's going to be a really tough affair, especially now. Memon on his own, can't get it done. Tribe Herbie! Let's go, Tribe! But now, again, the real test. Elektros have been able to bring it back to claim a match point. Tribe have gone all the way to this stage. If they lose now, it would be disastrous.
It would be tremendously sad. I don't see any team coming out of this really happy with the result. Tribe Gaming, of course, any loser coming out of this happy with the result, I should clarify. We'll see a different rollout from Team Elektros, doubling up on the right lane, also Duin taking this early on the right lane. We saw Memon take it alone on the right side, Duin operating more of a mid-roll. And this seems to be working so far. Tribe Gaming have been suppressed and forced back under spawn. Still, Snoy has afforded enough room to break open the important bushes. Tribe Gaming seriously cornered, in fact, and they haven't earned anything off of giving this position away either.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Tribe here. RBM does have a super here. Homemade recipe, no connection. Going to try to flank around this left-hand side. The Diego Gamer is going to do his best to get a magic hand. That could be the very thing that could alleviate the situation until the rocket fuel of Snoy rules it out entirely. Luffy's going to fall shortly after that, and everyone falls. And Team Elektros give themselves the best fighting chance of making the grand final with that round, one away from doing so.
Tribe Gaming collectively fell back. It was a team loss for them. Yeah, Luffy says, I'm going to do this my way. On the left side, homemade recipe, scouting out the left lane. He has to know that Snoy's over there now. He's revealed himself out of the bushes. I think the standout thing in game number 2 that let Tribe Gaming succeed was Luffy taking matters into his own hands, but this is going to be a collaborative effort between Diego Gamer and RBM on the right side, getting 1 kill with the magic hand. They would love to get this for the next round. Snoy's like, dude, just make it in. Memon says, please, can I just get a bit of utility here? Why did he not even shoot? I don't understand. He could have gotten a super out of that.
You're feeding over a lot of utility, but why did Tribe just not farm him? They could have just let him heal back up.
That's also
He's
true.
Like that was a prime opportunity, but I guess they just want a speed run.
That urgency could come back to bite them. That's going to be a curve from Luffy to keep Snoy low. Diego Gamer had the sight line, then Vengeful Spirit would be pretty juicy right now. RBM on his way to a hypercharge. That's the first kill on the Team Elektros. Tribe Gaming have the advantage. Are we watching a reverse sweep?
Tribe can't fall now. I mean, there's a hypercharge for RBM. Snoy needs to find something or just needs to find 1 single kill to make it a 2 versus 2, because right now they're at a serious disadvantage. They can slow the pace, they can keep the heals coming in for themselves and just give themselves the best chance, but this is going to be tough.
Snoy has a super. It could be a kill confirm on the someone, but he doesn't want to get too close to Diego Gamer. He doesn't have a way of avoiding it. Hypercharge to block off Doin. It zones him in on the bottom side. Snoy falls. Doin after. Tribe Gaming once more in the grand finals. A new era of North American Brawl Stars.